There's nothing compassionate about getting people stuck in generational webs of government dependence.
Everybody knows a quote, what LBJ said. He's all like, oh, we'll have these N-words voting for such and such years or whatever. And after I said that, she just said, oh, disregard that. The Democrats are still for the black people or whatever. They're still for us or whatever. So basically what my question is how are we going to get the truth out there? How are we going to make sure that everybody's like staying in line with the truth? How are we going to make sure that the information that everybody's getting is veritable and fact-checked? Because we have people out here that don't necessarily follow the facts. They don't necessarily believe in things based on reality. So how are we going to get that going?
The key is dispelling this leftist premise that conservatives hate black people and brown people and Hispanic people and every kind of people other than like Mitt Romney, basically. Like just the whitest imaginable guy. You have to dispel that first, because I'm sure you were making many eloquent arguments about how leftist policies have really wreaked havoc in the black community. And Thomas Sowell has written extensively on this topic. Thomas Sowell, one of the greats of modern times. And he's written extensively about how until those massive welfare programs of the new society and the spending of the 60s and 70s, until then, in the black community, murder rates were going down, crime rates were going down, out-of-wedlock birth was going down, divorce was going down, poverty was going down. And then, as if all of a sudden during that cultural revolution of the 60s, all the trend lines reversed. And so what the left would say is, forget about all of that. We, the leftists, like black people, and those mean conservatives hate you because of the color of your skin. And that's an argument based on identity, but it's a very strong argument. You know, I mean, if I really were to believe that some group of people hated my guts, then it wouldn't matter too much how much they lowered my taxes or fixed some problems in my neighborhoods, because I don't want to elect people who hate me. Now, the reality, of course, is that conservatives do not hate black people or anybody else. There's no, and you could make an argument for racial prejudices on the left, what Mr. Gerson referred to as the soft bigotry of low expectations, to say we will never expect certain social standards from you because you're just not capable of it on the basis of your skin. And that's a horrifically bigoted point of view, and it's one that the left holds. I think you've got to make the argument first from compassion, from dispelling this myth that the left is compassionate. It's not. There's nothing compassionate about getting people stuck in generational webs of government dependence, living in absolute abject misery and squalor, and hooked on welfare payments, and hooked in bad schools that they're not allowed to break out of. I mean, even just on that one issue of school choice, for so many people, getting into a good school can radically change your life outcomes. It is the best shot you have of getting out of poverty and of having not only a materially prosperous life, but a spiritually and culturally prosperous life too. And you have the left, especially in inner cities, saying we're gonna lock you and trap you in failing schools where you'll learn nothing and you'll very likely join a gang. And you have conservatives going out there and saying, we need school choice, we need to encourage vouchers, we need to encourage charter schools to at least give you a chance. And what does the left do? They say, that's cruel, that's racist, that's bigoted. You've got to break that first. There's nothing compassionate about trapping somebody in a cycle of poverty because you don't think that they can accomplish anything. And there's nothing worse that you can do for a young person than to say, hey, you'll never accomplish anything because the whole world's out to get you. And there's a patriarchy and there's a white supremacy and there are these structures. You can't do anything, so just sit down and shut up. There's nothing worse that you can tell a young person. And if you can show people how cruel that is, then I think only at that point can you start making arguments based on policies, based on all of those data over the years. And then we win. Yeah, great question.